Just some of the times. Just some of the time, it's fine. I'm not even a mess. Well, in comparison to how I've ever been. But that is a mess. But that's because I'm doing art. Quit judging me. You're right, it's me judging me. Quit judging Mimi. Quit judging Mimi. Listen. I'm like giving myself deja vu. I've got this energy of this video that I made once where I was being a goof. I was being a big old goofball. I like being a goofball. To be clear, I actually enjoy it. What is... Oh, it's my bed. Okay. I don't know. I don't know. Oh, geez. That's cute. Okay. Hold on. So we have 3 cards that came face down, and 2 cards that came face up, like so. Okay, so 5 of them set, so that's how we're reading them. I try to ignore that this card, I feel like, yeah, there were a couple readings that I used this deck that this didn't come out in, but this card keeps coming out. The Page of Swords. But it's in reverse right now. It's in reverse right now. But the initial card that came out was this star card. Thought it was kind of cute. She looks like my mom. But there's like this weird like Chinese lantern guy in the star. And it's making it kind of... She looks friendly, this lady. But she's pouring out her cups. And she's pouring them just like into the air. She's actually flying on a flying carpet. And she's just like pouring them out into the air. I guess she's creating rain. She's making it rain. Okay, she's making it rain. And that Chinese lantern thing that's in the middle of the star is giving me this feeling of it being like at a very specific time. It's like Chinese New Year, right? It's like at a very specific time. When is the Chinese New Year? I think it's like in the fucking spring. I don't know for sure. Let's see. When is the Chinese New Year? January 29th. Okay. I knew it was sometime after ours. Here in America. Okay. That's the first card that came out, and it's on top. So it's like she's making it rain. And she's making it rain onto everything here. So this Page of Swords, like, if she's my mom, this is giving me energy. Except that, well, not except that, but this card is in reverse. In the upright, it's like taking an opportunity to be brave. Moving forward with confidence and bravery and courage. Courage. I don't know what the fuck I'm trying to say. My words are coming out weird and my voice sounds weird. But in the reverse, it's like this intimidation. Let's see how these cards come out. Okay, wow. In between the two. In between the two, we have this Knight of Cups in the upright. He's got this long-ass beard. He's got a Viking hat on. He's driving a motorcycle. And he's drinking out of the cup. He ain't sharing that cup. He's drinking out of it. Sorry. Okay. Before that, or next to that, we have, I don't know what's going on back here. It's the Four of Swords. This must be from a very specific episode that I never saw. At first I thought it was a possum, but it's looking like it's some kind of wolf, bear, some type of wolf bear creature. And it's carrying a sword. It's carrying the Four of Swords itself. The Three of Swords almost give me this feeling of like having been in the past. But this werewolf type creature has, and when I said that, when I just said werewolf type creature, it kind of came into my head that like these two work in cahoots, right? They're in cahoots with the one sleeping on the other one's belly. And I don't know exactly what's wrapped around this guy's neck. He has something wrapped around his neck that's kind of like slunk to the back since he's sleeping. But it almost looks like it could be a mask. Like the image that I got was of everybody assuming that this guy is a werewolf because these two are working together, and this main guy is like the face that everybody tends to see as a person, but he has a mask that he's wearing, so they like don't fully know. And then he like pretends that he's transforming, but really he just has this beast friend that then takes his place and plays the role of the beast. I don't know why that's what came into my head, but when I said werewolf, that's what it made me think, like that they're both working together to create this idea of a myth, to create this idea of this beastly thing, when really it's two of them working together. You just assume that they're the same one. Then we got the Magician over here. We already know this little chaos guy is a fucking mess. I mean, if this is my mom, this guy gives me the impression of being my ex. These are my exes. This one is the guy I was infatuated with. He's the werewolf. But the guy that well, he's not actually the werewolf, is he? I think he is. But he's actually this old guy. The beast behind him is actually his friend with the long hair that I don't like. And then this guy, this isn't the first time that he's reminded me of this, but this is the first time he's shown up in a row of my exes, so I'm safe to say it this way, is that he reminds me of, oh, well, actually, now that I look at him, at first, being the Magician, he gives me a sense of being the Satanist that I dated, which I made a whole video. Like, I wouldn't recommend it. To be clear, so much of the bullshit in my life has come from dating people that do magic. I learned a lot. which was necessary because there were people doing magic against me. However, it also clung to me in a weird way that I had to learn how to process through because I wasn't involved in it, but I was involved with them. So there's a reason that they say not to fuck with bitches that worship other gods. Right? I learned the hard way. I did learn, though. But in this, right now, he's not reminding me of that guy. He's actually reminding me of the dude that I lived with in Baltimore. And that dude was a crazy person, to be clear. All of them are crazy. I have really bad taste in men. I just like them a little crazy. I don't mean to. And I haven't, like, just because they're crazy, doesn't mean I don't like them. There's a lot of different crazy dudes that I don't like. But I do tend to attract the crazy. And the ones I've been in love with to some degree. I wasn't really in love with Kevin. I loved him. I considered him my best friend. I mean, he really taught me more than most ever have in my life. He was extremely influential in my life and honestly saved my life by being so crazy and abusive and wild. But he is incredibly intelligent. A chaos magician. He underestimated my chaos, my capacity for chaos. This is Kaylin. I'm calling out names in this. I already said Kevin, so this is Kaylin. Fucking motorcycle, fucking drinking the cup. My mom is pouring out of the sky and making it rain, and he's like gathering it in his cup and then drinking it to himself. Is what I'm gathering. But these guys are all in cahoots. And it's got me in the Page of Swords in the reverse. Trying to keep me weak. Trying to keep me weak. You know, and especially like fucking John and Taylor. That's who this is, by the way. This is John Taylor. I'm calling them as if they're one character, okay? This piece of dick. The three swords behind him, I get that it's just a picture, but like it's like this, giving me this feeling of like him having, like, they're resting so peacefully. Fucking sleeping so peacefully. Like, we're not doing anything. What? We're not doing anything at all. What are you talking about? You're crazy. Like, y'all are fucking in cahoots together, working together to be a fuck. And this idea of them having these other swords and stuff just gave me this feeling of like they have all these resources and they like withhold them just to make me feel some type of way, right? We're like, this is like the roles that they played. Like they're separate. They don't have a relationship with my mom. They have a relationship with one another. Kaylin has a relationship with my mom somehow, and it's like receiving from her in order to essentially take for himself, but he's like tearing up this mud right directly above me, and he's right directly above me because he's trying to throw mud on my name, trying to make me look bad. He's trying to ruin my reputation. He's trying to ruin me. In general, they're all trying to ruin me. But the magician, I will say, Kevin really wasn't the worst. He wasn't the greatest. In his own way, he was. In this way, he was. When he's this card, sure. Knight of Cups, no thanks. King of Cups, never. Knight of Swords, no. King of Swords, sure, but only in a crazy fucking kingdom. No queens. No emperor. No empress. No cups for that guy. Some swords. Some swords, some wands, for sure. Bless him for it. No pentacles. Kaylin's all pentacles. That's all the fuck this guy cares about. That's all the fuck this guy cares about. The beasts don't give a fuck. That's because he's just living off of the fucking guy. The guy's the one taking care of him because the guy's the face of the fucking, what do you call it? I don't know, the partnership that they have. But like I said, they're appearing to be one person. Idiots. This actually, in comparison, I'll give it to you, Kevin, in comparison, you take the cake. And I was with Kaylin for 6 years, technically. Something like that. I guess it's like 4 years. 4 years. Enough. I still tried to maintain a relationship with him after the fact, but these people are all crazy. Now, I brought up Polly, but it's not. The magician reminds me more of Kevin than it does of Polly. In this deck, at least. They all try to kill me. I'm attracted to men that want me dead. I don't know. It's big stepdad energy. That's what I'm getting from that. They all remind me of my stepdad. To some degree, I thought John reminded me of my real dad, but I never knew my real dad. So how the fuck would I know what that was like? No, y'all remind me of my stepdad. Happy y'all even look like him. We got the Ace of Coins. I love Jake. We got this Ace of Coins. Just looking at it is silly to me. I don't really know. I mean, it's great. This is honestly great. Okay. But it's funny to me too. So this Ace of Coins, like, he's dressed in a suit, right? And he's got this clipboard. He's an official person. He is giving me lawyer energy. He's, I mean, it's funny because he's like, I was gonna say that he's bald with his beard, but actually he has a little horn on his head with that beard. And because he's all long, it's not even really Jake. He looks like Jake, kind of, but he's another kid of Jake and Rainicorns. That's why he's so long. But this is their child that became a lawyer. So this is a lawyer. It's Jake and Rainicorn's son. And he's got, it's the Ace of Coins, which like normally is the divine bringing in a sense of abundance. And so this is the divine bringing in a sense of abundance, but it's bringing it through this lawyer, right? This lawyer is probably a little goofy, a little off kilter, probably not the most traditional. And he's got this object that like is instead of the pentacle, he's got like this weird object. And like this is the thing of value. It's like this thing. It's not just money, it's this thing. And he's looking at it like, I don't know what to do with this. Like, I'm a lawyer. I'm trying to be really responsible. But I don't know what this is. Or what to do with it, or what its value is. That's what I'm getting from that. This is just one card. Okay, hold on. I'm going to have to try that again. The Six of Wands in the upright. Right, so we got all these crackers celebrating championship sports. These athletes. There's like a champion, and then there's all of his friends coming in on this horse. Okay, hold on. I've got 2 more cards before this makes sense. It's a full reading. Hold on. Dude, it's so weird how these cards keep coming out. I got this one in multiple readings as well. It did come out on its side though, but it also landed on top of the page of the sword, up the page of swords in reverse, so I'm going to put it in the reverse. I've gotten this card multiple times as well. It's fucking 3 of Wands. Okay, so it's going to go in the reverse right there. I just need one more card, so just need one more card, please. Thank you. Second time I've gotten this one, the 8 of Cups in the upright. Okay. So it looks like there was some type of victory for a group of people. One person kind of leading the way. Like, oh, I got all of this abundance for everybody, right? I don't mean to personalize this so much, but it's my mom is this middle person that like has these cups to pour out, right? Pouring out of the abundance, the star. She sees herself as the star, right? This is her then on the horse coming in. And so it's like there's like this immediate victory of receiving a victory. There's this immediate victory, this immediate sense of abundance. There's a sense of abundance and victory that she immediately takes and just starts pouring out into whatever she's determined poured into. She's on a flying fucking carpet, right? She's in the sky, flying high, pouring out this water, making it rain. She's making it rain onto Kaylin, onto my ex, who's just drinking the cup his own. Okay, but she's actually technically, I mean, she's pouring out 2 cups, right? And Kaylin has 1 cup. And Kevin has 1 cup that he's holding up. I wish that this wasn't so blurry, but Kevin has a cup here that he's also holding up into the sky, holding up near her, waiting for it to rain on him too. Okay? She's not paying attention. What's happening behind her, she's not paying attention. What's happening behind her is that there's a lawyer who's confused about what it is that the assets are, or like what the thing is. He's not looking very sure of this thing. But she's not even thinking twice about it. The second that she has some sense of victory, she's now putting money into trying to... Listen, this is just how the cards are coming up. I'm just reading this just how it is. I'm not saying that this is actually what's going on necessarily. I'm just reading these out of the cards. But she's pouring her cup from this victory directly into Kaylin and Kevin, who are receiving it. And okay, so she's pouring it into Kaylin's cup, and he's really just drinking of it himself. But it's making this mud that he can throw on my name. Right? That he's throwing on me. And Kevin is taking it, and he's got this cup here, and then he's pointing down here. He's pointing to his boot, right? He's pointing to his boot. He's also pointing down past his boot to the 8 of Cups. Just this sense of walking away from what no longer serves you. To be clear, like, I wouldn't trust any of these people, but he's a chaos magician. Like, as much as Kaylin might just be drinking from the cup right in front of your face, not giving a fuck, like, he has very much not give a fuck attitude. This is also a not give a fuck attitude. It's just a more chaotic one. it's very much like, you can't trust any of this. Ugh. And it's like, yeah, I'll take from that. I can do things. But like, pointing at his boot and pointing down to like this, walking away from what no longer serves you. I mean, I guess it's kind of giving me like, they both have the same hat on too. Actually, all three of these dudes, interestingly enough. He has a yellow pointed cap, like a fucking wizard. He has a metal pointed cap, like a metal fucking wizard. And Sleepy Bear over here has a linen pointed cap. Like a dude that ain't gonna wake up. Dreamer, the dreamer. Seeing if I pick up anything else. Hold on. Okay, so it seems like one was hired to throw dirt on my name. I'm going to have to use me and my mom and my exes and stuff as the characters because that's how I seen it. But if you're watching this, like, it could very well be talking about people in your own life. So when I say me, I'm talking about you. When I say mom, I'm talking about a mother figure, a woman, a main woman, a woman that maybe you've been in competition with for a long period of time, a woman that like, yeah, I mean, you're related. Well, guess you don't have to be. Guess you don't actually have to be related. But it's kind of like that mother energy. Okay. And the X's are, they could be people, or they could even be like a metaphor for like jobs that you've had, careers that you've tried out, different sorts of things that you hoped to see success in that ended up not actually being what you needed. And what that looked like was like, you know, instead of you receiving the benefits of this trickle down, you know, this main character was kind of taking for themselves off of it, and then, like I said, like throwing dirt on your name, maybe ruining your reputation somehow that way because of that. The Chaos Magician is kind of like you thought that it was something that was going to be one way, but it ended up being like something totally out of left field. And, you know, teaching you a lot, but all through like you having to learn how to alchemize all of it because it was just such crazy. This is some wild energy. Okay. And then this could be like I said, like it's like two people working together pretending to be one in order to put you to sleep, potentially kill you, or just keep you from reaching your goals, you know, to keep you asleep, to keep you lulled into, you know, thinking you were going to get something when you really weren't. Really like, you know, you got them kind of blocking you from this victory up here. You've got the middle, the reputation issue. keeping you from receiving the trickle down from the star. And you've got chaos, you know, whatever would be chaos in your life, keeping you from I'm going to have to get to this lawyer card because he's not quite sure what it is he has either. It is the Ace of Coins, so it is a certain abundance, but we don't know exactly what that is yet. Okay. However, so like being directly underneath the reputation card too, directly under, I'm still going to refer under this Kaylin card. Like that's like a direct connection, right? Or like I was in love with Kaylin. I was with him for an extended period of time. We had a family together. No actual children. We did have an abortion. We didn't commit legally, but I had a commitment to him where I didn't really have that with John. Certainly, fuck Taylor. And then I had that with Kevin, but only in regards to like this weird psychological operation that he was running on me. It wasn't a romantic connection. It was business. But that was basically the same with these idiots. I wanted it to be romantic, but they were just playing me. Okay, so, but what I was getting at was that I actually have this direct connection then with Kaylin. There's a direct connection with the reputation being muddied. That's kind of just like this full trickle down directly from the star in which there's the connection. But underneath the Four of Swords, underneath these idiots, we have the Three of Wands in the reverse, which is like well, at least the way that I've read it in other readings is don't fall for the illusion. In the upright, it's an illusion that's being cast. It's, I'm loving and I'm sweet. I'm the king of Candyland. I have so much to offer. Welcome to my kingdom. This is a fun place. Look at me. I can do little ballet pirouettes. But he's winking. He just seems very sneaky, and he just gives me not a good energy. Potentially a Freemason, by the way that he's dressed. I don't have a problem with Freemasons. I actually very much respect the Brotherhood, even though every fucking Mason nowadays is a goddamn fucking fool. Can't think for themselves, just wants it for the money and the power. Is that really what it was supposed to be all along? Wasn't that supposed to be, like, the tool used for it to do what it was supposed to do, which was supposed to be part of, like, bringing in a destiny? Yeah, I get that we're doing that regardless because we're not in control of it, but, like, you're not powerful just because you do black magic. You're not powerful just because you fuck a goat. You're not powerful just because you claim Freemasonry. Let's get that right. And most Freemasons at this point are just making a mockery of it, in my personal opinion. Okay, that's just part of it. That's part of it. That's part of the occult that's been built into it. I'm not, I understand. It's just frustrating for me. But yeah, in the reverse, it's kind of like don't fall for the illusion. And kind of the same sort of thing, we got the Three of Swords here, and they're actually just a picture, where the Four of Swords is actually the one that they're holding. It's not referring to 4 swords. It's referring to the fourth of the swords, right? Specifically, at least in that card, that's the energy that it's giving me. Actually, now that I say that too, like, we have the Six of Wands, and it's like this specific wand is the 6th. Everybody else has their wands too, when really there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, yeah, there's 6 depicted. You almost missed one in there, but there is 6 depicted. But this main character on the horse is the only one that has all of these medallions. So it's like their personal victory. Like I said, that they're like giving out to everybody else by pouring it out. It moves into the star. So this is like, don't fall for the illusion. They're so comfortable. They don't care. They're asleep. They're not doing anything. Don't fall for the illusion. Meanwhile, this chaos magician is like receiving from the star, and it's supposed to be to create mud, to muddy up this reputation as well. They've got boxes of dirt behind them, right? Why else would they be receiving a cup of water from the fucking star, who they're not even related to any degree? Well, so that they can make up some mud, so that they can muddy this up in order to affect our Page of Swords. To keep them in the reverse, to keep this person in the reverse. However, this chaos magician these people don't serve anybody but themselves, to be clear. Like, be very cautious as to who it is that you are doing business with. Because even if you're paying people, like, they're still only doing it for them. And, like, generally speaking, like, especially if you're dealing with, like, men I like, you can't trust them for shit. You cannot trust them even a quarter of as far as you could throw them. And I like my dudes thick. Kevin was a normal sized dude, but he could still kick my ass, and he did. Okay. But he actually did make me a better person. Like, I'm not even complaining about that. He was insane about it. Potentially, I was either going to go absolutely insane and end up killing myself. He was going to go absolutely insane and end up killing me. Or I was eventually going to leave and then take all of the lessons that I learned and become a better person. He already knew all that, right? I was the one that was dumb being in it, but at the same time, like, I did learn from him, so I'm not even bitching, but that's part of it. So, like, he's taking the water in order to make all of this mud, but he's also doing his own little tricky thing, where he's pointing down to the Eight of Cups, and the Eight of Cups is like, at the same time he is doing that, he's also teaching me how to walk away from what doesn't serve me. You know? And he swears that's not what he's doing, but he knows what he's doing. He knows what he's doing more than the person giving him all of the water. In fact, they're looking down directly at the Kaelin card. They're looking down directly at this reputation card. And even looking past it just to look at the Page of Swords. And they just have this look on their face that, like, makes them look so nice. Like, they look nice and they look friendly, and, like, you would think that this card is nice, but then when you see what they're pouring their water into, it's like, oh, so you're fucking evil, right? I don't really believe in evil, because I'm not going to give people that power, but I did happen to see a video last night that was talking about child predator ring, and I was like, man, I don't know what other word you would use for these kind of people. You know, I try not to give the sense of evil any power. And, like, I'm not scared of those types of people. Been scared of those types of people when I was a child. But I mean, they're still pretty fucking wicked. And so it's almost like this, like, oh, you look so nice and you look so well-meaning. But, like, you're intentionally trying to actually be evil. And so what I'm getting to is, like, because the people chosen in order to teach these lessons are really just out for themselves, they never cared about this person, which is why they were willing to do whatever to keep this person in the reverse, right? But they also didn't ever actually care about this person. So they didn't truly get to know them in order to know what it was going to take in order to complete the task. I mean, it's weird that the Kaelin card is directly over my card, because in this whole reading, I keep seeing the Magician where I'm like, you actually did do me a service somehow. But maybe it was in part by staying slightly adjacent to me that way. You know, had you have been, you know, because he was pointing at his boot, you know, he's pointing at like, be grounded in your intuition too, right? And so it's this thing too where it's like, had he have been closer to me, it would have hurt worse. But because it was at this distance, like, because had he had been closer to me too that way, like, he would have been having this star pouring directly into him in order to affect me. Let me just look at what it would look like if these two were switched. Because he's still teaching me to stay grounded in my intuition. But now he's receiving for himself. And now... Okay, so... Because if he would have been the main character, like, in the main role, as far as my exes, instead of Kaylin, if he would have played a more significant role, I would have ended up being attached to this chaos magic in a different sort of way, where it would have muddied. He has boxes and boxes and boxes of mud. Kaylin's only able to kick up what mud is already laid down on the ground, right? And being made from the water that's being dropped. But that's the only power that he has. The Magician actually has a lot of his own power to just create a bunch of chaos and bullshit. And had he had been closer, he could have affected me that way. But instead, I had this lesson to learn to walk away from what wasn't serving me. There's a lot of cups here, but we don't know what they're filled with. And it's kind of just, you know, there's this sense of loss with that. Like, there's a lot of opportunity there to be taken, but the moon is sad. And it's just like, you know, willing to embrace. It's sad. It's not that there wasn't a sense of loss. It's low tide. But, like, it was important to be able to walk away. And it's crazy, too, because that was actually, like, randomly one of the last things that I said. Like, I was fighting with my mom all the time. She always fights with me about everything for no reason. And she gets right under my skin, so it's hard for me to not let her and then find myself arguing, right? One of the last, like, arguments that we had was I had brought up how, you know, like, when I was with Kevin, like, it was an incredibly abusive relationship. It was really fucked up. It was really, really fucked up. He fucked me up in a lot of ways. And it was like, after I told my mom about a lot of the things that I experienced, like, she broke down and was crying and was like, oh my God, I'm such a bad mom for all of those things happening to you. But she, like, started making it about her. She was like, I just feel so bad for me, because I'm such a bad mom, and I never wanted to be a mom, and I never wanted those things to happen to you. But I was like, this isn't about you. Like, I'm not even as upset as you are, and this shit fucking happened to me. Like, this isn't the first time, and it wasn't the last time that I was assaulted in any of these ways. So, like, she's like, oh my God, I can't, I'm just such a bad mom. And it was like, why are you making this about you? And then, like, a week later, she added the dude's mom on Facebook and started talking to her all the time, and they were best friends. And she's like, oh, well, we just share Bible verses to each other, and we, like, pray for each other. It's like, why the fuck are you talking to his mom at all? At all. You didn't have a relationship with her the entire year that I lived with them. I literally was living with that woman and her son, and you didn't have any relationship with them, but after I tell you that I'd been being assaulted by this dude, now you're friends with his mom? Why? And I've asked her why, and she wouldn't tell me. And so then this is like one of the last conversations that I had with her, where I was like, I had brought it up because she started arguing with me for not about the name of God being Yahweh or not. When me and my stepdad were talking about how much we loved living in the mountains. We were having a really nice conversation about like all these different places that we both had been and like what we liked about those places. And she was jealous because she wasn't part of the conversation because she's never fucking been anywhere. So then she comes in and starts literally just immediately arguing about the name of God. And I was like, how do you even know that that's what the name of God is? You didn't believe that the whole time I was growing up. You just learned that recently from your pastor, and now you're swearing that that's the case and going to argue about it? That turned into a whole nother thing. My stepdad was kind of like laughing about it. Like, he always thinks it's funny when me and my mom fight. Especially because my mom uses emotional manipulation, and she'll just act fucking crazy so that you have no, what are you going to do? Look stupid fucking trying to fight with her? That's the best you got, you know? And I'll sit there and try to use logic, and like it will trigger me where like I'll be trying to be more and more and more logical, but like there's no logic with her fucking off the rails emotional ass. So then at one point, like it randomly came up in the comment where I was just like you're always trying to fight with me about the dumbest shit, and you're always trying to start shit, and like it really is starting to like I'm starting to recognize that like you're doing this intentionally, you're doing this on purpose, like. You're literally trying to fuck with me. And she's like, oh, what are you even talking about? Whatever. And I was like, why did you become Kevin's mom's friend after I had told you about the abuse? She's like, well, you wouldn't want to know. So I just never told you because you wouldn't even want to know. And I was like, I'm literally asking right the fuck now. What are you talking about? Of course I want to know. That's why I keep asking you about it. You just refuse to tell me because, you wouldn't want to know. Like, what does that mean? So then I pretty much was just like, right, no, I get it. There's easier ways for you just to say you don't give a fuck about me. And she's like, oh, you're right. You're right. I've never actually cared about you. I've always hated you and I've always wanted the worst for you. And I was like, I'm glad you're finally able to say it out loud and be honest about it. And she's like, she didn't like that. My stepdad was laughing. She didn't like that. I was like, I don't know what to tell you. That's how you've made me feel my entire life, but you swear that that's not what's going on and that I'm crazy for feeling that way. When you keep fighting me over the dumbest shit, for what? For what? Why are you befriending the moms of the people that I told you were abusing me and then not explaining it to me? Well, you wouldn't understand. You don't get it. You wouldn't want to know. What the fuck are you talking about? Why would I ask you if I didn't want to know? You just don't want to be honest. Little demon. Sorry. It wasn't fun walking away from that. It wasn't. But it is weird how the magician is out here this way and that I equated him to Kevin to begin with when, like, that had come up and that was when I chose to walk away. Because this card reminds me of walking literally from Wisconsin to fucking Texas. I walked across Wisconsin, took a train down to Illinois, took a train down to Missouri, walked halfway down Missouri, and then took a train the rest of the way to Austin. And, yeah, I left everything behind, including Maggie. And I never got to see her again. And it was really fucked up. It was really fucked up. Here's my little Mags right here. Always with me. But not. The card's in reverse. She kept me in the reverse. She didn't want me to have a family if she wasn't included. She hated that I was happy with my dogs. She hated that I took such good care of my dogs. I was struggling to take care of myself, but I spoiled the shit out of my dogs, and she hated that. And she hated that Kaylin loved me, and that he took care of me, and she hated that I had nice things, and she hated that I looked nice. She hated that I took care of myself. She's literally only ever been happy when I'm fucking mentally ill trying to kill myself. And I was trying to kill myself from the time I was 8 until I moved out of their house. Then I started to feel better for a short time. And then it all came crashing down again. You know, when I realized that my ex-husband had married me because he really just wanted to be close to my family. His family was fucked up. He didn't feel close to them. They were all weird. They were close. I mean, I knew his family. We were all part of everything. But, like, his family was dysfunctional, and my brother had used to be his best friend, so he was like hoping to be both of my brother's best friends. Like, that's why he married me. But my family's never liked anybody that I bring around. Don't matter who it is, even if it was somebody that used to be their best friend. Now he's with me, and so now they don't give a fuck about him. So they never treated him like family. They never made him feel the ways that he wanted to feel, and he was embittered at me about that, right? And so then we separate, and when we separate, like, everything gets shitty again. That's why I'm surprised that Polly didn't come out, because he did play a role in all of that, and I feel like he's continued to play this role as he has, like, this weird little coven, does his little curses, plays his little magic. He's been a retarded. The 9 of Coins in the reverse. I wanted to get another card out, well, particularly because I was thinking about Polly, and I just wanted to see if he'd come out. He'll never come out of the closet, because that would, mean something different about his power. He's a woman hater, so he can't, if he were to admit that he was gay, then people would assume that the reason he hates women is just because he's not attracted to them. We know it goes deeper. It's because his mom is a fucking demon. Possessed by demons, at least. She was a demonologist. She was a fucking exorcist. And her and his dad got divorced, and his dad's fucking crazy. His whole family's fucking crazy. I love Polly, and I feel for him. Do not care that he wanted to kill me. I wanted him to kill me for a while, too. So, to be honest, because I'm not fucking great either. Okay, but this 9 of Coins came out in the reverse next to the Ace of Coins. So the 9 of Coins in the upright would be a sign of, like, contentment with money and finances and material wealth at all. In the reverse, it's like that it's not enough. So the lawyer is looking at this, like, because after this victory, this woman just immediately starts pouring out the cups. Like, she don't even give it a second thought. Like, there's this whole other process that needs to be happening, but she just immediately starts spending out of what she's received. And because of that, the lawyer is looking at this thing where it's like, this is all that's left. How is this all that's left? My paperwork says that there's supposed to be a lot more. Where did it all go? The 6 of Swords. Hold on, because that came along with all my exes. One more card with me, please. And Judgment. Oh shit, okay. Interesting. Okay, so next to Kevin we have the 6 of Swords, which I had one other time. It's this bubble, looking at all these swords, like, almost with a sense of intrigue. But they aren't able to grasp them, because they're just a bubble. And they're swords. It would probably kill them, too. And they look like a cute little dirty bubble. Where is the other swords? We have 4 swords. Any other swords? I mean, technically, the Page of Swords has 1 sword. Is there one more sword? I'm missing a sword somewhere. Where is it? Where is it? I feel like it's hidden somewhere. Where is this other sword? I'm not going to take the card if it isn't a sword. I just want to see if it happens to come out. Otherwise, I'll move away from that idea and try to read it as is. But I just feel like there's a hidden sword somewhere. Six of coins. That's a weird card. I don't know what the fuck's going on there. Okay. Well. Just not seeing another sword, so... Damn, it just made me feel like, okay, so the Page of Swords, especially when she's in the reverse, like, she only has this tiny little sword to protect herself with. She has strength with her. This card resembles very much the Strength card, right? With that tiger behind her. But in the reverse, it's almost like it doesn't appear that she has that strength. She does, because it's on the card, but, like, it's in the reverse. So, like, it doesn't appear that she has that strength, and it, you know, she only has this tiny sword. And so it's almost like... It feels like this little bubble guy is like, oh, I found all these swords and I want to be able to bring her all these swords. But then he's not able to because he's just a bubble. He can't touch these swords. He also is not receiving from the star. That's something other related. And the only reason that these two dumbasses even came in the picture is because of they heard something about this victory. They thought they were going to get a little piece by eluding the Page of Swords. That's why they're staying asleep, because they ain't getting fucking shit out of any of this. These two are actively involved because they're receiving of this. However, yeah, I mean, I wouldn't trust either, but like, this one's actually, because it's chaos. So this one's taking for the point of what it's been hired for, but it's also like doing its own thing, and it's also like teaching for the purpose of this one. It's always going to do both and something else as well. A secret third thing, right? That's that guy. Where this one is like, I've said this about my ex Galen before too, where it's like he lied all the time. He never was honest. He was constantly always lying, to the point that I could trust that. I felt like I could trust him because I could trust that he was lying. And like, as long as it was like, I knew how to ask the right questions the right way, I could kind of get the truth out of it, because I would know that he was lying. So I could gauge things that way. So it's almost that thing where like, you know that you can't trust them, but like, you know that you can't trust them. So like that like becomes its own sense of relationship, right? This bubble is like unaffiliated. I ain't really seeing this bubble anywhere else. And actually, this bubble, it looks like it could potentially be off in the distance past this, like through this arch right here, past the inheritance. Way past that, because of the gray mountains in the back, and there's gray mountains in the back of this card. But this sense of there not being enough, like the lawyer is like, okay, there isn't enough. This guy's underneath that. So it's like, as much as the lawyer, like the lawyer's supposed to be just like adding these assets together and making sure that they're divvied out the right way. Like that's his job. Like there really isn't much else he's supposed to do. But he's realizing that like it isn't adding up. And at the same time, like, I think this guy's also like somehow aware of that and is hoping that he can bring these swords to the Page of Swords in the reverse in order to help them be able to kind of rise up, get out of the reverse, and be able to finally get judgment, proper judgment. And that too, like this one actually almost looks like Polly in comparison to the rest of them. Although Polly doesn't have hair like that anymore, he's bald. Well, okay, so he does look like a dirty little bubble now. Little cross punk. Well, in this too, it's almost like, right? Because he's like the cult leader. He's a satanic priest and like has like this little cult. He's like singing them this song. He's playing them this music. Right? But it's bringing in judgment. And all these little guys got their pointy little hats too. Right? Who else has the pointy hats? The rest of my exes. All got these pointy hats. All these dumb witches. Got their little pointy hats. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 3, 4, 5, 6. But like what I already know of this one too is that like while these people think that they're like serving this master, like they're like, yeah, judgment. He's finally calling judgment. Yeah, they're all excited. Like they don't realize that like because of who this person is, like it's actually a judgment on them. However, as far as just this line is concerned, then it's like, don't believe the illusion. This person is in the reverse. This person doesn't have it's not that they don't have strength and that they don't have courage, because this is walking away from all of these cups, which would take both strength and courage in oneself. And they're moving into this judgment. I have one more for me, for my Temperance in the reverse. Temperance in the upright is like the main character card that I was playing, because BMO's playing themselves. But in the reverse, it's like getting played. But it's like there's an illusion around this person being in the reverse. They do have strength and courage because they were able to walk away from these cups. Because these cups were full of a bunch of bullshit. But they're moving towards this judgment. They're coming into this judgment. And it's like the judgment is... Because if you see, like, these cards, like, they both have these orange wings. And one's in the reverse. And so it's almost like... like the judgment is that they were getting played. more cards. Give me one for the top. The one with my mom's cards. The lawyer. Victory being handed out to the wrong people. Oh. The Two of Wands in the reverse. So this lawyer is finding that things aren't adding up. And what is going on is down here. That there was an illusion about this person not being strong, not being courageous, not being, you know, on top of their shit. But while that illusion was happening, this person was walking away from those things, those illusions, and walking towards the judgment that they were getting played. And this is in the you know, in the same line as the Star card, as this mother figure, that they're a shadow. This is like in a shadow box, and they're like this weird shadow character in here. We're like, they're a person, but they're also the shadow in this box. And they have these two pickles, because it's almost like, as the shadow, like they like created this illusion that one was one and that one was the other, when it was really the opposite. It's their shadow person, they're a trickster, and they're like trying to switch these two sides. Okay, hold on, that was too much. Let's try again. One more. The line of my axes. The King of Cups in the reverse. Okay, but this one actually does remind me of Polly. Okay. Because he's the king and he's on his throne and he's got this pendant that has the eye, the all-seeing eye on it. And he's got this like leopard print cloak. And his, instead of like actual like, what is it, like a scepter, these are wooden utensils. And Polly's a cook. And there's also like this eldritch terror behind him. And then there's all these broken glass bottles around the base of him, all these green broken glass bottles, which is like, it's like living in trash and filth and in garbage. But like, he's still a little cutie, because he's a cute little penguin. He's adorable. He's a cute little guy. And then there's this adorable little cat that's got a heart for a third eye. And he also is a cat man. Okay, so this is him, but it's in the reverse. It's in the reverse under this illusion. And then above that this person was getting played. So that the Page of Swords was getting played. So he actually, the star is riding on this magic carpet, right? And it's because they learned magic from this guy. They learned magic in order to do all these things. That's what they thought that they were doing, right? However, this guy's in the reverse. All these cards are in the reverse. So it's like, because he didn't teach the illusion right, like, because this is also an illusion, he's not actually a king. Maybe he becomes a king. I'm pretty sure this is Gunther. Technically, I think this is the Ice King's pet. At least it looks like him. Then again, all the penguins look alike. But Gunther is like an actual like main character to a degree as a penguin. And so like, he's the Ice King's pet. But then he becomes his own king. But like his kingdom is just made out of glass. But it's like in participating in this illusion, like it put everything kind of in reverse. So who's the Six of Swords? There's this bubble looking at these swords. Six of Swords. This bubble. I mean, I had an ex-husband, but it's not giving me his energy, surprisingly. He never gave a fuck about me, to be honest. It's underneath the Nine of Coins in the reverse and above Judgment. It's like this, he comes up on all these swords and he's like surprised by them. I don't think I know who this bubble is. It's giving me the energy of somebody trying to help me. Like that they realized this, like they came upon and they like started realizing what was happening. So they're like the ones like moving everything towards this judgment in order to understand everything that's happening. But like I don't recognize them. Or if I do, it's because they're coming completely out of left field. But it's almost like they're like trying to decide, like they're like, oh my goodness, but then they're like, how am I supposed to bring the truth to light? I'm just a bubble and these are swords, like this could kill me. So it's like they want to help, but they don't know how. Okay, hold on, that's what all I'm going to take of this deck. I'm going to do one more oracle card and then that'll be it. Jeez, these videos are just getting longer and longer. I don't even pay attention. I thought I was doing really good at like 20 minutes and now it's already been an hour and 20 minutes. Okay, I just want to know about this bubble character. Who's this bubble character? It's like somebody that I wouldn't expect. Like, that's what I mean out of left field. Like, it's not, if I do know them, it's somebody that I just would not expect to, like, have come upon this information in the first place, let alone to, like, be willing to help me out. But there is judgment coming out directly after them. So they are calling judgment. And I thank you for that, whoever you are, when this comes to my personal situation. However it is that you're taking this according to your personal situation, even if you don't know that person, even if you don't know who it is that I'm talking about or what exactly it is that I'm talking about, thank the universe for it. Shout out a little blessing, because you never know who's working on your behalf, who sees what, who's doing what, you know, in your favor. When things start to come together for good for you, you don't always know who all was part of that and what it all took, you know, for somebody to become part of that, or to make what you don't always know what they were sacrificing in order to bring the truth to light either. Because like I said, trying to grab any of these swords could very well kill this bubble, because it's just a bubble and they're swords. So, you know, whoever's working on my behalf, who I haven't, either don't recognize or I don't know, or I'm just unaware of the ways that you're helping. Thank you and bless you, because I couldn't get anywhere on my own. I mean, I'm just one card in this. Yes, I have my strength on my side, but I mean, there's so many other people involved in this that, like, it's beyond me. Everything is beyond me. So anybody that ever helps me out, you know, thank you. The card did come out, and it is Trunk. Beautiful card. It's a tree and a squirrel. And the tree has an eye. The tree can see. Trunk. Like the core of something. Not the core, but like the vine of something. It's somebody who has leadership. Somebody in leadership. Somebody who has their own, you know, they have their own branches. They have their own little environment. Potentially somebody older. This person seems to, it's not like they're the only tree ever, but they're standing quite, not alone, but like separate from the other characters in their environment. They are the source for a lot of life in their environment. Potentially the source for wisdom with the eye in their environment. They're a leader, so, you know, they could be some type of spiritual leader. It could have something to do with, like, math, with, like, accounting or money somehow. The squirrel being right next to them is giving me, like, could be a friend of a friend. There's gray mountains in both of them. They're actually in the position of where the squirrel is. Actually, now that I'm looking at these two cards, they're actually where the squirrel is. So they could be the friend of a leader, some kind of spiritual leader, or like a banker, or an accountant, or a jailer, or something like that. It's some type of business owner, financier, something like that, some entrepreneur. But they're like a friend of a friend. I keep saying that. I don't know, but I know judgment is coming. And anytime judgments are called, I know that justice happens. Well, generally that's the hope, but I already know in other readings that justice has been called. And I've been calling for justice, and I trust the universe to bring that. I also trust, like, if it means I have to be held accountable to anything at all, so be it. So be it. I would much rather see justice in the world than my ego be satiated. You know, if it means me not getting what I want because instead I get what I need or what I deserve, I'm perfectly okay with that. And granted, I rest assured that what I deserve is good, but I'm not making those demands of the universe. I am calling judgment, and I am calling for justice in a lot of situations. This was such a weirdly personal reading. I didn't intend it to be that. But c'est la vie. I kind of want to do a whole nother reading. We'll see though. I probably won't. I don't know. This reading was incredibly long. If you were watching, hopefully you were able to take anything of that personal to you, because it seemed terribly personal to me. I might not even post this one, to be honest, or at least for some time. And I don't know. We'll get there. I might end up doing that for a while, is posting videos randomly where, you know, maybe I have certain ones that come out and then later on I bring out these other ones that I had saved forever. So just in case the timing of ones start getting messed up. So far all of my readings have been very particular to the timing. They're not necessarily, what is it called? Not eternal. There's certain readings that you can do where like it applies to like any time that you happen to come upon it, then it's applying to. But then there's other ones that are time sensitive. And a lot of the readings that I've done thus far have been, the details of them are time sensitive, extremely time sensitive, like quite current, where the messages behind them tend to be more like able to be taken over courses of periods of time. When I'm talking about this specific judgment, this specific justice that's coming, like it's very pertinent to the time right now. I'm not talking about years from now. I'm talking about something that's been going on for years, especially like the last 2 years, and it's coming to a head now, which is kind of why I've been directed to do these things this way. But as always, if it's something that you can take personally and make something else of, by all means, the only thing I would hope that you could take from this more than anything is to learn how to connect more with the divine through your own personal aspect, and for it just to be an example of those things. So by all means, whatever resonates in your heart and soul when it comes to these things, take that. Don't worry about what I'm even saying or how I'm applying it to myself. Take it and let it be something for you, and you make of it what you will. And yeah, I guess that's what I got for right now, and I will see you in the next video.